Hey friends, guess what we're doing today? Another garden tour. We have beginning of August. This is our third garden tour for the season. And as you can tell, it starts to fill in. It's still not as many dahlias blooming as we've seen last year, but the weather has been weird. It was, I think, a little bit too hot for them to truly enjoy it. But I want to walk you through the garden and show you all details, good and bad. As you know, I'll show you the good and the ugly next to each other. So it's an honest garden tour. So let's get started. All right, let's start over here. As you can tell, my Ami is really, really tall. Those are just, I think, two plants. So for next year, we know two plants are plenty, but I really, really love it in all kind of stages. So when it's blooming, it's a super soft with its really, really nice and cute petals. And then when it's done blooming, it turns into those green discs, which looks really cool. And then the next stage, which looks even cooler, I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me go there. It's the seed head, which has a really, really cool shape, which makes a great filler or a great like architectural element in bouquets as well. So I really love it in each and every stage. And the purpley one stole my heart. I think I need to plan something more of the purpley next year. So what you see here is the basil now finally recovered and really looking good and nice. How I love it for bouquets with those big seed heads. And this is really what makes my bouquet smell so wonderfully. The lemon basil from Johnny's, I gotta say, it smells like you smell lemon. I still can't believe it. It's so, so intense. And then when we move over here, look at that beauty. No, that wasn't Barbie themed on purpose, but it turned out in all shades of pink and I'm loving it. So those big fat dahlias, they're already like a little bit over. I gotta harvest them tomorrow. A few of them birdies picked on, but it is what it is. But they are looking gorgeous. I love the colors and how the color fades over time. It's really, really pretty. And you can tell those were the ones who actually got a little stressed in this early, or not in this early, in this late hard frost, even undercover. And they all bounced back, as I promised you. So trust your flowers. And then when we come here, the dahlias, like that will look in the next garden tour so great because all of the dahlias are very close to bursting. Here are my baby cakes where I can't wait to come back, for them to come back. But here's already one of my favorites from last year. Ignore the bug damage because we have bugs everywhere and constantly this year, so it is what it is. But the Bloomquist Compare is one of those which also changes the color over the season depending on the temperature. So at the moment it has a very strong lavender touch, but this fades out into in white blushy color when it gets colder. It's really beautiful. So we have some more here. There's some Gale and some Foxy later, which is coming in. So can't wait to have those ones back. And then one of my favorites here, you can also say the one who started the craze. This is the Cafe au lait, also very purpley or blushy at the moment. That fades out with the temperature as well, but this is still one of my most favorite ones. And then when we're here, again, like when you start paying attention, you see there's literally all buds everywhere. And this is in Sweet Natalie, I think, yeah, coming in as well, one of my favorites from last year. So I'm very excited. And when we go alongside this L over here, you see we have here my more white selection, although it's not truly color coordinated this year, but my bride to be here. The white ones get also eaten terribly. I gotta deadhead them. That is one thing what you also need to keep in mind when you grow dahlias for cut flowers. Keep deadheading them when they're spent. That's really important to keep the plants blooming. And then we have here a really cute new entry, which is the Bloomquist brother. There and there again, like the white ones are all eaten up It's really a cute anemone type dahlia for the first time. So pretty. Yeah. And then this is one of the dahlias which Steph from Hooked and Rooted Garden gave me in one of our meetups. I think it's called Blue Boy, even though it has nothing blue about it. But we also know there is no blue dahlia, so the purpley is probably what is supposed to be the blue. Here we have another compare like we saw on the other side. I had a few spots open where I plucked a few extra ones in here. And then my favorite white dahlia, the Blizzard. I mean, just look at the stem length, right? Don't look at all the bug damage, but look at that stem length. It's really, really beautiful. And what we have over here are a few of my seedlings. So those were started with Cozy Town Gale seeds from Leanne from Cozy Town. And this one is one which I really like. It reminded me a little bit of the Foxy Lady, which I'm having over there. But I love how it like fades in color when it ages out. It's really, really pretty. It's a little bit wobbly, but it's all right. And the other one, I'm not sure if you can see that from there, is also a really nice yellow looking ball head dahlia, which I'm not so sure about yet. So, and then we have here all my cosmos. It's pretty much as tall as I am now. I am a sucker for this double cosmos. I think it's double click violet is the variety, and it's just gorgeous. I have some of the double click white there over there. It's just those super deep double ones, and they have actually a really nice vase life. So with cosmos, as well with all the other cut flowers, it's important to cut out the spent ones pretty quick, and they bloom out so fast on the plant, so you really need to keep on cutting those to enjoy them for a long, long time. But you see, they are very happy with the weather and the situation right now. So as promised, I also show you the things what are a fail in my opinion. As you know, those flower strips here are meant for being cut flowers, and I planted for the first time sunflowers in here, which as you can tell here are already a little bit over the prime, but we have still here some gorgeous ones. But why it's a fail, it's truly because I really didn't like to cut them. It's like a one bloom wonder, so I rather wanted them here to enjoy them next to the arch than cut them out. So honestly not sure if I will give them garden space in the cut flower garden next year again, because they also take up a good amount of space and they bloom just once, right? So I'm thinking what I'm going to do with that space now, because they're pretty much spent soon. So we will see. So this whole section is a little bit of a wonky one. Although when we go here to the zinnias are amazing. As you remember, those were all the zinnias I planted as replacement for the spring crops. And I mean, look at that! Isn't it gorgeous? How large that is. This is in giant wine. Although I was thinking, like when it's called wine, that it's more red. It's actually really deep pink, or deep pink on the verge of purple. That looks for me a little bit more red, although still with a large pinkish hue in it. But nevertheless gorgeous. And as I'm not 100% color coordinated here this year, who cares, right? And then this is one of the dahlias which came back over the winter. Wasn't one of my favorites. I gotta say, it's still not one of my favorites. So, but it deserved in chance for life when it overwinters without any protection here in New England. And another one which I would call a fail, or maybe I didn't read the label right, but this sunflower was supposed to be a multi-branching one. As you can tell, there are no branches whatsoever on it, and it's teeny tiny. I thought it gets like big like this. This is why I left so much space here to give it actually a chance to get big and branchy, but I don't know. Those came from Baker Creek. I think it's the Astra Sun Gold or so. Super pretty though, but yeah, definitely not tall, definitely not branching, at least not yet. So we will see. And then, yeah, we'll go a little bit over here. So this entire bed is a little bit of a hot mess. I also missed my staking opportunities here, as you can tell. But what is again a success, even though it looks a little bit messy because of the missing staking, is my Lisianthus starts to bloom. Look at those gorgeous flowers over here. Love, love, love Lisianthus. This is the Void Champagne, I think. Or over here, ooh. They are just stunners. They get harvested tomorrow for my cut flower video. And yeah, they're just gorgeous. But you can see here, I missed my staking opportunity and we had a lot of wind here, so they flop a little bit. The good news is that the Snapdragon still go strong. This was an experiment for me to have them come up from during the summer as well. I wanted to see how they perform, but they're still full of those dang harlequin bugs, which is an annoyance. They love to sit in there and have parties. So yeah, we'll need to keep maintaining that. I hope they will come back a little bit stronger because they're a little bit more weak in stems compared to the first flush. And I hope they come back a little bit stronger when it gets a little bit colder. As we know, they're a cold season flower, so we'll see. But I'm surprised they do that well in our heat still. So yeah. All right, let's look at the tomatoes. They finally start to ripen. As a matter of fact, I harvested already a few. I like to harvest them at first blush, just because we have still so much rain going on here, which means they have a tendency to burst. So from the moment they have a blush like this, I usually harvest them to prevent them from splitting up. And it's totally fine to do that. It doesn't harm the taste or anything. So that's just something what really helps to, yeah, also have them store in the kitchen a little longer, so you don't need to preserve them or use them up within like a couple days or so. One thing which is still true, which still stuns me to this day, is that my determinate tomatoes are taller than my indeterminate tomatoes. I'm not sure what they are doing. Last year they were already at that time of the year up to the top, but they were very, very heavy with tomatoes. So I think from the moment I've harvested the fruits on the bottom, I think they will shoot up, and they actually started to produce in here again. We also had like 3 weeks of really, really hot, really, really humid temperatures, like over 90. As we know, tomatoes don't like that so much. So I feel like this week with a little less humidity and just temperatures around the 80s was something what the tomatoes and the entire garden enjoyed. Yep. And I can't wait. Oh, this is one of my draft dwarf tomatoes, and it's actually, let me get that one. That is, ooh, this is, let me quickly see what it is. Oh, that's the Firebird Sweet. Look how pretty this is. It has a really, really pretty marking, and can't wait to taste this one. This is loaded with massive, massive fruits. So I'm really excited to start harvesting them. And then my peppers are doing well. I've harvested already like 1 or 2 flushes from peppers. There's not much else going on. My ground cherry is bursting and producing a lot. I thought it was a good idea to let that hang over the sides. Not so sure I'll do that next year again because it really, yeah, it really like leans into the way, is not great for cutting grass, as Mr. Grown in New England will tell me every time he cuts the grass here. The other side is pretty much the same, but maybe like just one shout out to this wild Amish paste. I mean, just look at that massive fruit here. It's wild. I'm surprised the plant can actually hold that. It's like heavy, heavy, heavy. So this is a bed which is going to get a makeover tomorrow as well. I'm attempting to have a fall bed. At the moment, that is on the side here, is where the garlic was, and my edamame are growing. They're still pretty small because I'm not exactly sure what it was. I suspect bunnies, but they got chomped down once pretty severe. I'm actually happy to see how well they're bouncing back. They also got some fertilizer yesterday or a couple of days ago, so happy to see how good they're coming back. So I will clear out the other side with all of those leftover brassicas who didn't do well. So I would call this a fail as well, or got eaten by the bugs to a point where I don't want to touch them anymore. So for that reason, what I'm probably going to do is I will still travel a lot for the next few weeks. So I'm focusing on things which can like entertain and take care for themselves. So I do a lot of direct sowing. Probably will have a little bit of tatsoi, some carrots, maybe some lettuce and stuff here growing. So we'll see tomorrow what I feel like to stuck in there. I also just harvested the garlic, not the garlic, the onions in my small bed. So that will be turned into a fall bed as well. We'll see if we have a little bit more luck with the fall cold veggies. All right, and you might have noticed here with that last bed, we increased or tried to increase protection because something kept crawling into this bed as well and chomping down the cucumber and the squash plants. So finally, as you can tell, they're starting to look good, like they are enjoying life again. Oh, there is a big one, which needs to be harvested as well. So this is something what, there you go. I probably should have seen that yesterday or a day before. Fun with cucumbers, right? But I really hope that they produce a little bit more. We have here on this side a few pickling cucumbers, over there some more salad cucumbers, and the rest of the side is actually squash. So a little bit center squash and some other row 7 squash, which I'm really excited to get a few as well as winter squash. So we'll see if that protection will hold. Looks ugly, I know, don't tell me. But you got to do what you got to do if you want to produce a little bit or want to get some produce of the bed when you have a million critters around this year. All right, and here is my hot pepper alley. I got to say, it's been a really, really great year for peppers. It's unbelievable what I've harvested already here on those 2 red embers, and they're still going wild. See here, I have a few more. So it's a year of cayenne pepper, probably for the next 10 years. My 2 jalapenos, I made already some cowboy candy, which I really wanted to make with the jalapenos. We're not a spicy household, so that is just something, which is delicious, but it's almost too spicy for us to eat. And then finally, the Aleppo peppers are also really packed now, so I'm excited to see those. Those make a really, really great, slightly spicy but very, very flavorful paprika powder. So I'm excited for this. So those will get dried as well. And then you see, we're going to swim soon in copious amount of cherry tomatoes, to the point that I'm like, maybe there was 1 or 2 plants too many for us, but the girls really love them to eat them, and the rest is going to go in the dehydrator for the winter. I really love dehydrated cherry tomatoes to put them into stews, and so they taste so good, like pops of summer when you have that in a stew in the winter. So it's really delicious. And my determinate tomatoes are producing well. Not exactly sure what the problem is here with that one, which is getting yellow. You can see already in a few areas the early blight coming really early in this year. But with all the weather and rain, it's not super surprised. But look at those pretty tomatoes. aren't those gorgeous? Those are the Midnight Roma from row 7 as well. They are, they're just so pretty. The plant doesn't look 100% happy, but the fruits are still looking good. It's still producing, so yeah, we'll monitor it, but everything got also fertilized, so let's see how they look in a week from now. Okay, you can tell the squash tunnel here, or the arch, is getting cozy. It's really wild. We have here on the side pole beans, but mostly 2 plants of center cut squash from row 7. It's not more, and 2 cucumbers. That is all what's populated, but it's truly is the center cut squash, which is going up and over. And from the other side coming on are the cherry tomatoes in, again, like amounts, which I'm a little bit concerned for us in the next 3 to 4 weeks. But it's really, really beautiful. The pole beans are doing well as well. They enjoy to get a little bit more shade here and there when it's too hot. So, but I'll keep picking them, and they're doing nice and well over here. So this section has definitely been a success. I think I would take 1 or 2 plants out of that concept next year, but otherwise they are very happy and doing very well, minus the cucumber beetles and the squash bugs, which I'm very trying to be vigilant about to get those ones rid of. But otherwise, yeah, that section here is doing very, very well. Grr. All right, so I hope this was interesting for you. You see how quickly the garden changes. It was just 4 weeks since we filmed the last one, and so much has changed again. So I'm really excited to show you, probably in 4 weeks from now, how wild the dahlia patch looks, because that is really what will be probably the biggest change between now and the next garden tour. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know below, and then otherwise subscribe and watch another video. Thank you.